The Orange Bowl is tomorrow, Notre Dame versus Penn State, and this is just my prediction. I want to say I got Notre Dame. I'll probably give a score before I end the video because right now I can't really too much think of it. In my personal opinion, this game is going to be a defensive game. It's not really going to be too many theatrics, not too much, to be excited about on the offensive end. I think this will be a defensive showcase for both sides. The reason I say that I have Notre Dame and not Penn State is because although their running back Love is injured, and in my personal opinion, Riley Leonard has not shown to be impressive being a passing quarterback. He gets it done more with his legs, which I don't have a problem with it's working. That's why they are where they are now. But I think that Notre Dame is just going to find a way to win. And I think that their defense is elite. And you could say the same about Penn State. But when it comes to Penn State, I don't want to pull out the strength of schedule card, and I don't want to say, well, I haven't seen them play against a really good offense. But it's like, I kind of haven't seen it, and that's no disrespect to Penn State. Like, that's not me. I feel like over the course of this playoffs, when games happen and teams get blown out, then people automatically say, oh, well, they don't belong. They don't belong. People said that about SMU. They didn't belong. I don't know. SMU belonged. These teams belong. And I'm gonna have to make another video about this. I was gonna make it right after Alabama played Michigan because that further proved my point, but I didn't have this channel before that. I literally just made this channel today and I'm going crazy uploading. But with that being said, all I have to base them off of is how they played against Ohio State. And I mean SMU, but like SMU's not really an elite offense, but that's like their most recent game. So I have to say SMU. You know what I'm saying? And they dominated SMU as they should have. I thought that SMU deserved to be there, but I didn't think that they were a better team than Penn State. So yeah, defensively, they're good. I still have some question marks and I still need to see more. Excuse me. This will be the game though that, Penn State can get their credit from me. Defensively, no disrespect to the fan base, or that team or what they've accomplished. They've had a great year, very impressive. So yeah, no, not a knock on them at all whatsoever. I just kind of need to see more. And with Notre Dame, we've seen them play Georgia, which I'm not going to give Georgia a bailout. When I say this, which is probably what some of you are thinking, I don't think Georgia is that good. And I've thought that over the course of the whole season, and I kind of wish I made this channel and did a review over it when the game first happened. I was fighting off a sickness at the time, and it was the new year, so I was moving around and whatnot. But with Georgia, Georgia's interesting. Like, Notre Dame put on a masterclass defensively, but Georgia's not good, in my opinion, in my personal opinion. Because you look and you say, well, Carson Beck, regardless, and I hope Georgia fans don't think that if Carson Beck played that game, that they still would have stood a chance, because I don't believe that. And honestly, I don't even think they believe that. But you think about Carson Beck and you think like, whoa, he had a period where he was almost throwing 3 interceptions a game. And they were like maybe one of the interceptions was like not his fault, and the other 2 were like, what do you see, kid? Trevor Etienne is probably the best player on that team. You'll have moments from Oscar Delp. You'll have moments from Dylan Bell. Moments you just have moments from guys, but they're not really consistent enough, and they don't really have a guy that's like a star that can go and make plays. When you think of Ohio State, you know, you know who their stars are. Then not only is that a star-studded team, but you know who you got to look out for when it comes to Ohio State. When you think of Oregon, even though they got whipped and absolutely, I'm not even going to say that word, we're just going to replace it with demolished. You know what I'm saying? You know who to look for at Oregon. You know who their stars are. You just go down the line. Hell, majority of the teams, you know who the teams that didn't even make it, you know who their stars are. You know who Colorado stars are, not just because of media and whatnot and Coach Prime is there. You know when you play Arizona State that you got to look out for Scatterboo. But it's like for Georgia, it's like we're playing Georgia. Who do we key in? They're all average at best. You know what I'm saying? So while I give Notre Dame credit and they absolutely bullied Georgia in every way and or facet of the game and just made it difficult, and props to Gunnar Stockton because he handled it well, but I say all that to pretty much say I still need to maybe see a little bit more from Notre Dame, but I think Notre Dame is elite defensively already. So I really don't want to say I want to see more from them, but with Penn State, I am going to say I need to see more from them to call them elite. But we're to the point of, hey, this really cements them in my mind as elite if they go in and they beat Notre Dame and then go in and beat or give a hard time to the winner of the Texas and Ohio State game. So, I mean, we'll see. But it's very shaky. And Notre Dame ain't in no conference for real. So it's interesting. I mean, I like them as a team. They're good. But I'm like, I can't really hang my hat on Georgia because they're terrible, in my opinion. And I think that I don't want to use injury. Also, I don't want to use injuries in that game. I'm not going to play that card because both sides, Georgia had injuries and Notre Dame had injuries. So we're not going to do that. And plus, Georgia's injuries seem like they were more self-inflicted than Notre Dame's, because why, if, like, even in the game I had question marks when Notre Dame played Georgia, I'm thinking like, well, Georgia can't buy a first down. So why are we going to try and do a Hail Mary with our backup quarterback 50 yards away? Like, it doesn't make sense. Hell, I'd give Woodring a swing at it, but I wouldn't do that. And of course, they snapped it. He winded up and nothing good happened. And that's how Carson Beck got hurt. You would think that these guys learned their lesson. Mike Bobo and this team learned their lesson after Carson Beck literally got his season ended in the SEC championship trying to do the same thing. Let's just either take it in a half or tell Woodring, what do you feel? Can you hit a 55? What do you think about a 57? I mean, but to do this, it's just stupid. So, but that's enough. I really made this video about Georgia. I'm sorry, I apologize. But I'm trying to kind of reflect on Notre Dame's defense, even though I do give them credit and I think that they're amazing. I think that they're elite. But in my opinion, this is going to be a defensive showcase. It's not really going to be too much going on offensively, but we'll see. I could be wrong. But my final score, I'll say Notre Dame 24-17. Well, no. I'll say Notre Dame 24-14. I think it'll be close in the first half. Second half, it might be interesting. So 24-14 Notre Dame. That's my prediction. And yeah.